This is for those of you who have not found your twin flame yet, so you've not actually physically met them. But it also applies to if you have met them and you're in separation. This is kind of like what you should do. Because the same stuff, ironically, the same stuff that you will do to find your twin flame, to have them meet, contact you and message you, or for you to meet them, is the same stuff that you should do if you have already met them and you're in separation. So regardless of which stage you're at, you need to watch this, okay? So to find your twin flame, there's really just one thing you need to do, and that is to increase the amount of time every day that you are spending doing what you love and being your true self. The reason this works is because in the universe that we live in, at the quantum level, we're connected to everything. Everything is connected to everything else, almost like a hologram. And so with your twin flame, it's even more pronounced, it's even more the case. You are strongly connected to your twin flame to the point where most likely, like if you are doing something in your life, the chances are they at the same time are doing a pretty similar thing, right? Like for example with me and Julia became digital nomads at pretty much the same time. We also at pretty much the same time, this was years before, started to work on ourselves, develop an interest in personal growth and personal development, and start to uncover our shadow side and work on things, improve ourselves. And so this is something you can use. Use that knowledge. So if you're having now the urge to improve yourself, right, to meet your twin flame, to find them, the chances are they are also at the same time having that urge as well. So they're also, wherever they are in the world, having the same feelings. They know somebody else is out there. They know you are out there. They're waiting for you, and they're looking for you. So really, all it comes down to is letting it happen, letting the universe, letting whatever's going to happen in order for you to meet them. You don't need to know or care about how it's going to happen, because it could happen in a completely random way. And quite often this is the case. We get people messaging us and emailing us, telling us these really, really obscure, unexpected, uncommon stories, like really, really unlikely stories about how they met their twin flame. And it would be something crazy, like they had this urge to listen to this podcast, and then the podcast said something specifically about this like random place. This is a hypothetical example. And then they decided, I'm just going to go on a trip to that random place. So they go on a trip to this random island or this random part of this country or something, right? And then in the country, they get this random urge to just like, I'm just going to go to this particular restaurant. It just feels like I really am being pulled to go to this particular restaurant at this particular time on this exact day. And then they go there, and then something unexpected happens. Like their twin flame walks in, and they're with a couple of friends, but they happen to find a way, like somehow there's a circumstance where they are forced or put into a situation to talk to you. And then as soon as you actually physically meet them, it all makes sense. Like nothing, you don't need an explanation, it just makes sense, it clicks. It's like a magnetic instant thing where you feel, there you are, it's like this massive sense of familiarity. And you don't care about the circumstances, you don't care that you're there, you're on holiday and you actually live in a different country, and then they are there with their friends, or maybe they're on a business trip and they're going to be gone. It doesn't matter, because you exchange contact information, usually, hopefully, and you make it happen. Like, when I met Julia, for example, we lived in different countries and now we live together. So the circumstances don't really matter, and it will find a way to happen. So don't worry too much about, should I be going to different classes? Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just do what feels right. If you're trying to force it, if you're trying to make it happen yourself, that's not, you're not on the right track. If you're trying to force it and think, what actions can I specifically take to go out there and find and search for my twin flame, then you're kind of missing the point. When I met Julia, I was not going out there searching, desperately looking for somebody. Okay, it was very much out of the blue. It just happened. Our paths just crossed. And that's, what I hear more and more is that it's more that your paths will be made to cross. It's much more that than it is you physically trying to force your paths to cross, because you're never going to be able to do that. There's 7 billion people on this planet, right? If it's up to you, you're never going to be able to know exactly where to be at exactly the right time. You have to surrender and leave it to something higher than you, something more powerful than you, right? And that's really what your intuition is. Your intuition is it's like a surrendering to just something else, someone else, or a higher knowledge just being downloaded into you. It's the same thing with this. Don't worry about how you're going to meet them, or when even. Just do, what I said, and your paths will be made to cross, even if it's in an unexpected, random way.